Alright, so another video from the Voice Arts Club. You got Myth, you got Kaichou.
Hello.
Got a few special guests over here. We have Aria,
Hello.
we have Yan,
Hello.
and we have Jerry.
Hello.
Alright, so with Niji 2 coming out, we decided to bring three of the most brilliant Niji minds around to kind of talk us through what stuff they're excited about, see what new combos, see what new interaction strategies that they got going on. So, you know, I'm gonna just leave the floor open. Who wants to start us off?
Yes, I can start us off.
All right, sounds good.
Alright, hold on. Opening the stream.
Yep.
Alright. And we good to go?
Yep.
Alright, so for my first choice of a list of making Niji 2 after seeing all the reveals, I was pretty stuck on wanting to play the new I level 1 combo and the new Kasumi level 3 combo. Starting with the top and first level 3 Kasumi, she comes into play and she heals, and then she has a recollection effect. Beginning at climax phase, when you play the climax, you can pay the cost. Pay one, ditch a music, reveal the same copy of this card to give all other units on your field a cancel burn 2. It's pretty simple, it's pretty effective. It's similar to the Quince combo from set 1, I believe. It
Yeah,
should
the
be
Ichika.
Yeah,
combo.
the Ichika combo.
Yeah, it's basically the Ichika combo with a little bit of an extra cost, but the good thing about Kasumi is that she's really narcissistic, and there's another card in this deck list that helps you cheat out having an extra copy of this in your hand. And then the I level 1 combo, I have to play her because she's the best girl. She's another recollection effect. Is it the beginning of climax phase? For
Get a climax.
yeah,
When you play the climax.
yeah. So when you play a climax, she gets power for every copy of her on the board, which means like your attacking turn. She's 9/5 minimum. She'll run over a lot of stuff at level 1. The combo itself, when the climax is played, each card can reveal the top card of your deck. Add a music character. If it's not a music character, you send it to the waiting room. And then she also has a pay one twin drive. So
Oh, yes.
climaxes in question are a door and a choice. So both plusing climaxes. This is a pretty simple deck list. I wanted to do tricolor, but it was pretty rough, so I decided to go with a very simple monocolor, or not mono, dual color. So it's red, yellow. A lot of simple utility, a lot of good stuff. Half of it's new, half of it's old. So going left to right, starting with the Shizuku, one of the new double R's, probably one of the most interesting early play heals because you can either play her at level 2, both on either with her trance or her early play condition being 2 or less climaxes. She heals, and she also has an effect when coming out from the early play from hand, or just from the trance effect. She gets 3,000 to end of opponent's turn. So she kind of has a good body on her. The multiple ways to play this card makes it really interesting, and I think it's just going to be one of the better like compression tools that we haven't seen in a while since like Hina Logic, because I don't think we've had like a trance healer in a long time.
Well, the thing about trance healers as someone who's played Darling in the Franxx is that to kind of curtail the power of that Hina logic, your trances are either guaranteed or they heal. You can't really have both anymore because I believe your 2-1 shuffles the 3-2s to the bottom of the deck, if I remember correctly. So,
That's correct. I brought it up right here. So it's this is like primarily this is like the new standard for all trance cards right now for 2-1. You shuffle 2 copies of the 3-2 to the bottom of the deck, and then you can trance by using this and another card. Normally it's a 0-0, sometimes it's a 1-0, but this is pretty standard across all trance lines.
Yep.
So my next level 3, it's set 1 Rina. It's the Musashi like effect. The climax combo is pretty irrelevant for me here, obviously, but there's probably going to come a time and place where the climax combo becomes real. We've seen the Kasumi 3-2. I'm playing the 3-2 I early play as well. The reason why I think I like having 2 different types of early plays, being the 4 more condition. She's also a stock healer. And the 4 more condition actually works really well with the trance because the trance gives you 2 units and then you can turn it into one unit to open up another board space to play like the second eye or any other card that you want. So there's some interesting synergy. Hopefully it pans out when we get the set officially this week. The last level 3 I'm playing, she has a come to play salvage effect or salvage a climax effect. Pay 1. It's pretty good. It lets you play into both combos. Her combo actually works with the level 1 combo, so I'm playing a triple combo deck. Similar to how I played Zombieland Saga when I did my deck profile on that, except that has 4 climax combos because that deck cheats with a triple combo 1 climax. I think this eye card it's just really strong, right? You can play it as a splash one of in any list if you can fit red, because she gets you any climax that you're missing for your combo. She combos with the level 1 combo I'm playing, and the combo is just completely free. When the combo is placed, you just have to have another music character. She gets 1500 power and the ability on attack, reveal a top card of your deck. If you reveal a trigger or the gate, I don't know why it has that extra condition, you get to burn for 3. So nice, free, efficient. There's the Brainstorm from set 1 that lets you top check, so a lot of good synergy on this card as well within the set.
Nice little callback to Hello Happy World, Old's level 3 from the extra booster as well, back in the day.
Oh yeah, Hagumi. Except that deck played like 30 triggers, so it was technically nearly impossible to miss, but I would miss all the time.
Yeah, not having top check to rearrange,
Yeah, top check to rearrange, pretty good. There's also a level 1 card I don't play that's coming out in set 2. It gives all your characters in front of this look at top 2 rearrange. That card is like theoretically really good. that card is theoretically really good. I don't know. It's something I want to test later on. But moving back to the deck list, we got our set 1 anti-change counter. It's a sack counter, sends to waiting room. Very plain, very generic. But anti-change counters are still really good right now. A lot of people still don't expect it. The cost is a little high for 3 stock, but we're playing choice, so it shouldn't be too hard to get our stock back. I've shown the trans target. This new 2-1, it's something we're getting the second set. It's a common. I don't know why it's a common. This card feels like a double R. What was it? Come to play, real top card of your deck, right?
Yeah, if it's a music character.
Yeah, if it's a music character, choose one of your opponent's characters to give it -1 level. And then the second effect, when this character gets reversed, you can choose like a character in front of it's level 2 or lower, send it to memory.
Or is it the character in front of it? If its battle opponent is 2 or lower, then you can send it to memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's not targeting, so it bypasses any hexproof abilities as well.
It's basically in a dodge, but not really.
Yeah, this card, like, we've moved away in the current meta of like memory compression, so this card isn't as bad as like you would think of. Oh boy, you're gonna give your opponent more memory to compress. This gets rid of a lot of like recurring standby targets. People who are playing Hololive right now, you're gonna send Rusius to memory. It actually does so much in the current game state right now that this card I think doesn't deserve to be a common. This card like feels like a rare or double R, and I'm only playing a 1 event right now. I might up it to 2 depending on how potent I think this card will be, but we'll see after a couple weeks of testing.
Yep.
The next card I'm playing, I'm actually playing Adachi. I'm actually playing the 1/1 Adachi from set 1 to Shizuku. She's a anti-change stock bomb, so I have 4 different ways to anti-change in this deck. And the second effect, which is probably the most broken part about this card, where you can change, she has a change target, but you still get a stock back anyway, and you can just fail the change. So this card helps you anti-change, lets you dodge stuff at level 1 if you just need an attacker, because she'll always get your stock back, and probably one of the better cards of set 1 that a lot of people abused. I showed the level 1 eye combo. Another set 1 card, probably one of the more important profiles. It's Arfuka. She has come play top check. It's 2k, so she's a 3/5 body. Helps you win level 0 lines. And on depth, like ditch 1 like a top 4 at level 1 or higher. I play like a primarily like half-half split of like level 1s or higher, and all the cards she can grab are really like high impact cards. So there's almost no bad target for her to get.
It's also nice because it sets up your waiting room with every other card that you don't end up grabbing. So then you enable your gate trigger, your choice triggers as well. It's really
Yeah.
solid in this type of deck where you can just unlock your entire line of cards.
Yeah, with the climax choices I'm playing, you always want to have a high waiting room. The Shizuku will help you facilitate that waiting room. She'll also help you hand fix. Hand filtering is very important, I think, right now. A lot of decks can't do it efficiently. And speaking of hand fixing, this is the card that will help. That helps you cheat having an extra cost me in hand for the level 3 combo. This card also compresses you, and it filters for you. Probably an insane card. She has a recollection effect. If there's a copy of this card in memory, she becomes in hand the same name as every card with cost means name on your field. So if you have the level 3 on the field, she becomes the level 3 in your hand to activate the recollection and the effect to reveal her.
Yeah.
Resonance effect. She has an inherent on reverse. If you have 2 or less cards in memory, you send her to memory. So she lets you get free compression, gets a 0 out of your deck when you want to see triggers for the level 3 eye. And then the last effect, you can sack her, ditch a card to salvage a character in your waiting room. Probably one of the most insane card profiles I've seen in a long time. And a lot of people didn't play this in set 1, either just for no reason to fix your hand, but free compression as well.
If I remember correctly, this is usable with the 1/1 resonance in set 1. Or am I being mistaken here?
No, you're correct. The 1/1 resonance, it still cost me so she can activate that resonance effect package. The problem was that in the 8 standby list, people played 4 copies of that card anyway. So it wasn't hard to find another one to sit in your hand, and there was no reason to eat slots where you need to see probably 3 of this in your deck list to try to cheat out a 5th copy of your 1/1. So there didn't see a lot of play to have this card at 0 when you could have just played 4 elves of your Brainstormer, the Fuka, the IPR to mill 2 to just go through your deck even faster.
Yep.
Here's the 0/0 resonance target the chance target for the 2/1 Shizuku to combine into the 3/2 Shizuku. This card's very good on its own. She's a global 500 on your turn only, I believe. And then she has pay 1, tap 2 to look at the top card of your deck. If it's a music character or an event, you can add it to your hand. So this card does a lot. This card probably will also do a lot in decks that run a lot of events, because you want to find ways to get your events. If you have cards that you can tap, or Shizuku, her entire profile is based on changing, because that's your entire character. So you can just tap your change targets and then change out and just have free cards.
Yep.
But in this list, she can tap the Kasumi, she can tap the chance target. There's a lot of cards that she can tap to help me get that value if I want to pay out 1 stock to get a card back. And I don't feel like it'll be any... I just don't feel like it's a bad card to run, and I don't think I have any bad rest targets for her. The card that we wanted in set 1, a vanilla climax swap. That's it. That's the card. It's a 1-of. You can run 2. Doesn't matter. Card's broken.
It's a 2/5 body, which is actually relevant.
Yeah. Alright. It's a card that got a reprint, but it's on a quote-unquote worst girl. We got IPR from set 1. Very good profile. Coming to play. Mill 2 is mandatory. If you mill a climax... Is it mandatory?
Yes.
Yeah. The mill 2 is mandatory. If you mill a climax, you can discard a card, salvage a character. It also has pay 1, ditch 1 to salvage a music character. Give someone 1,000. A solid profile. We've seen this in other sets. Very similar, either with a different mill 2 effect, but it's theoretically a double salvage. One's a and they're both cycles. So good card, good profile. We'll probably still see it played in set 2 decks. So the set 1 Brainstormer, the one that lets the 3/2 eye always know what you're gonna do trigger. It's Ayupion. We got her effect. If you didn't know it, when you play a climax, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck and you get to rearrange it, and she's a tap soul salvage Brainstormer. So in set 1, that top 2 rearrange effect was really mediocre. And by really mediocre, I think it was like completely unplayable because you didn't care about what you triggered in set 1. But now with the set 2i, this being a rare, it actually just works perfectly. And I don't know if they intended it to be that way because that's why they printed the 1/1i, but now you don't have to waste like a 1/1 deck slot for a card that lets you do it for free just by playing the combo. Last card in my deck, it's one of the new double R's. It's Setsuna. It's a profile we've seen before. It's a profile we think is all broken, but it's the so she has when she comes into play. If you have another music character, she gets 2k power. So she's not free on the power condition. You actually have to play something else before her. But her on death effect is something that a lot of people appreciate but don't have. She has pay 1, choose a music character in your waiting room, put it on the bottom of your clock, so you can always selectively choose what color you want to find, and reveal the top 2 cards of your deck to reveal 2 music characters. If they're both music characters, you get to add them both to your hand. So profiles that we've seen like Shenlin, Aqua, those profiles to add 2 cards. Since I'm not playing any events in this deck, the only misses are my climaxes. And like I said, I'm playing a very like utility-based 0 line, so any 0 I grab is very good. If I find my level 1 combo, it's like better off. And then anything like 2 or higher becomes an early clock target, or I just get to prepare for my late game.
Yep, you have a lot of really key like filter strategies, lots of hand filter options as well. So any card that gets added can eventually become fodder for future cards. That's a lot of just general good stuff. Deck, it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of it's just like trying to abuse the utility that set 1 gave us, but we couldn't fully capitalize into these really strong set 2 cards that we were getting. And every day of reveals were just like every card just seems so good. And now that like the release is upon us, I think Nijigasaki set 2 is probably going to be very, very strong no matter what build you go for, as long as you have a very solid game plan in mind. I haven't seen anything so far from looking at every reveal. Every color looks really strong. All the top ends look really solid. And with the amount of like privilege that we have for really good 0 lines, and we have some better level 1 combos now, it's really hard to see which list is going to come out on top. I'm hoping this list will do well, but we'll find out after this weekend.
Yep. So before we switch over to your other deck list, I know kind of going into the podcast before this, you were discussing originally about what you wanted your last card to be, perhaps another utility 0. I'll leave it to the rest of the guys if they want to chime in their quick 2 cents, but did you ever end up thinking about other cards that you thought about switching out before you threw in the IPR?
There are so many cards I wanted to do, but some of them were pretty locked behind color. I wanted to play the 0/0 Emma. That's a new card. She's a bottom deck bomb, but she has an on death effect where you can discard 3 cards to salvage one of 3 to salvage up to 1 blue, red, and yellow character. But I wasn't playing blue anymore in this list. So
That's not on the bottom deck bomb.
is it not on the? I thought
No, that's a shuffle.
It's on the shuffle
Oh,
2
it's
back.
it's on the shuffle 2 back. So the bottom deck bomb is the Rize. All these profiles are just so good, and they keep getting mixed up in my head. But the shuffle 2, it's shuffle 2 to gain no side attack penalty. So it's still a very good card, but I couldn't utilize that on death effect. So it's the reason I didn't want to play it. The other card I could have played, I could have upped this 2/1i up to 2. There's another uncommon. It's a swimsuit eye. She has, if you come into play, if you have 2 or more, ditch 1, draw 1, and then she has a blink effect. But instead of immediately blinking the card, it actually comes back at like the end of the turn, which gives you an open lane. And that's also like something to consider, the fact that I'm running a cancel burn deck, so I can try to abuse the fact that like I'm doing extra damage to guarantee extra burn damage. There's a lot that this last slot could be, and after testing, maybe there's more than one slot I want to change. But when you're you gotta test it to find out. But when you're given the illusion of good choice, it's so hard to want to decide what like this last card could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, going back to your level 1 combo, right? So your level 1 combo requires a card in memory, and you only replay 4 Cosmies. You think that's actually enough to fulfill the level 1 condition by then?
So I think, to be fair, that's only for the power condition,
Yeah.
and if I'm playing on a turn where I don't care about the power, it's, in my opinion, it's fine. But to also go back on that, there's a lot of ways to send this Cosme, or there's not a lot of ways to send a Cosme memory. What I should say, I think I have ample enough ways to find the Cosme to send it to memory. If not, I was already given suggestions. There is a Ayumu that has what, pay one send to memory, look a top 4, add a music character.
Yeah,
Top
top
three.
three.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Top 3. Yeah, so that's similar to the Botan from Hololive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a card to consider. Except I didn't feel comfortable with that card playing it as a 1-0, right? If I'm playing something like that,
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that too. That way I know I have like 6 targets go to memory, right? But like seeing it too, I was trying to consider what could I cut down that I felt was unnecessary. I guess the answer could be to only play one copy of the 1-1 Shizuku, but I feel like I want to play this card at 2, even if I'm playing this 2-1 I. The other card I could cut down is the anti-change counter, but right now I also just heavily believe anti-change counter is just too strong. So until I get more testing with the deck and seeing if I need to find more copies of my memory card, I'm gonna have to wait to see where these last couple slots could go for that Ayumu.
Yeah, then on to that. The power on the combo is continuous, so if you have 3 copies, the combo is 8-5 on defense. Did you ever consider playing level 1 counters?
So I did, and I also just fell back on the fact, man, I don't know where to find space for my 2K counter or even the 1-1 bottom deck 3K punch.
Mhm.
I just felt like it was too hard to find space. I guess if there's a card, I run a very like high amount of zeros. I think I'm at like 17 zeros here. Let's see, 3, 4, 3, so that's 10, 8. I'm running 18 zeros, right?
Mhm.
If I feel, and I've played with less before, I could cut down to 15. By cutting down to 15, it probably means I'd have to cut down on this Setsuna, but she's currently my only way of clocking myself if I want to get to 1. And this zero game isn't really like a heavy zero game to kind of hold out on. It's just kind of like my turn power, and I don't hold anything on the cross turn. So
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
utility, right, out of your level 0 game.
yeah, I'm just gonna be a firm believer that 8-5 might just be big enough that people can't run over it outside of like using extraneous resources to pump over at 1, right? And if I have 3 and they want to get over all 3, it just feels like it's so much of a chore for them to do it versus me wanting to play a 2K punch to protect like one of them. And while level 1 honor-verse combos are becoming more prevalent again, some of them are still lacking like heavy power conditions, and it's a lot of the reason why I like Zombieland Saga right now, because I played the level 1 Saki combo, as I mentioned before. That level 1 Saki gets huge. She's 8k minimum, and there's a lot of free power pumps in Zombieland Saga that don't require you to do anything. And if you just get one of them over the eye, each Saki is going to level down the other eyes, and it's just going to ruin the power curve for the rest of the turn because you don't have to worry about going over anything, because all you need to do is find one reverse. And they haven't necessarily printed another combo similar to that outside of the May Dragon Kana. But the May Dragon Kana doesn't get as big as the Saki, which is the biggest difference.
Okay, sounds good. All right, last
Yep.
question. What are your thoughts on playing the Search Ricky, since your deck actually, aside from like triggers, right? Your combo doesn't select as well compared to the Shaolin Ricky.
I think that's something I'm gonna have to test out more. I don't. So with the search tricky, I think my only problem is that she only searches level 1, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that'd be more like important. I realize I say like a lot. Jesus Christ. I think it's probably more important if I actually had like a level 1 I'm really really like hard searching for. But with the way with the salvage utility I have, I'm valuing more the potential extra 1 card the Setsuna can grab me over the search Ricky. And knowing that the Setsuna can grab any music character versus level 1 lets my options be a little bit higher, because while I have the Fuka to let me search for level 1s or higher, I don't necessarily care about what I'm adding off that card. Because it's really hard to be really selective about like the random top 4. It's just a matter of trying to find anything I can use for the turn or anything I can hand filter with.
Sounds good.
All right, let's move on to your other deck that you decided to discuss with us today.
Alright, I have a second deck list. This deck list is a little bit more. This deck is definitely more fun. It's not exactly tricolor outside of Bifuka. Half of it is the same deck list as you've seen, and some of the cards mentioned or shown here are cards I wanted to run. So, very quickly, I'll run over the new cards. So this is a door. What's the official term? Is it gate for this one in
Yeah,
English?
It is
it's
gate.
gate.
Yeah. So the official term. So I'm running door gate is blue red this time. This is a climax combo line that's like been tried and true over the years. So
It's Old Faithful.
yeah, I'm running a lot of the same cards. You see the I early play, you see the I level 3 combo. This time I'm running level 1, one of the set 1 Kanata double R. She's another healer. She has technically a very unique effect. Beginning of your attack phase, you can discard a music character. This is a mandatory effect, by the way. If she's standing beginning of your attack phase, you must pay the cost. If you do, you rest her, and then what is it? If you have like 2 or more, you can choose to either burn 2 or burn 3, right?
So it's you have to rest it and then you can pay cost, and then once you pay cost, you can choose to burn 1 or burn 3.
Yeah. So I'm running this. It's Kanata. It's a sleepy girl. I thought this card was really, really good in set 1, and then the more I played it, the more I realized, that this card feels so hard to play. But set 2 has once again fixed a lot of the drawbacks on cards like this, and the new level 3 combo I'm playing, which is the Kanata combo. Before I go to that, this is the set 1 early play Emma. This card is very, very good. She has a 2 more early play condition as well. On your turn, she gets 500 for every other character, so she's 12k, pretty big. And she has on reverse, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, add up to 2 music characters. So not only does she replace herself when you reverse her, she also gets you an extra card. So it's a plussing level 3 with no climax combo behind it. She's big on her own, and it's a profile that's also not played a lot in set 1 because 8 standby was just like the only deck that existed for Niji.
As I recall, Yan's 8 standby list ends up running 4 of them, and I just think about every time he just like harvests cards off of
Yes.
Level 2.
I love the top 4 and sending standby targets to waiting room.
Or you just mill the standby itself and you cry.
If I mill the standby itself, it was meant to be.
Alright, so here's the Kanta combo. She doesn't heal, except instead she looks at top X to find a card. X is obviously the number of other music characters you have. Her combo though, pretty unique. Beginning an attack phase, the climax is in climax zone. You ditch to rest her. Then
She is on place of climax, actually.
is it on place of climax? Oh right,
Yeah,
the restander is beginning attack phase. I'm mixing things up. So on place of climax, it's everyone's favorite style finisher. It's Xenon. You mill the bottom 7 cards of your opponent's deck, and then for every climax you reveal, you do this effect X times, and the effect is you burn 3. X is number of climaxes you mill. So this card has both a very high ceiling, but also a really low floor, because you can just mill 7 clean, and then you lost your attacker for the turn. The card that fixes that, I'll skip to it. This is level 0 right here. This level 0 has 3 effects. The first effect being one of the most important ones. It's pay 2, ditch 2, and I believe remove the marker, correct?
Ditch 2
Remove
music.
the specific event as the marker.
Yeah, so
And it's 2
you have
music characters.
yeah. Pay 2, ditch 2 music characters. The 3-2 Kanata is ditch 2 cards. So this is a very expensive restand, but at the beginning of your attack phase, you get to restand one of your characters. Meaning you can restand either the 3-2 Kanata that you burned with, or the 3-2 combo. Specifically though, both of these cards do have to be in the front row to activate these effects. And how to get the marker, I believe it's the second effect. You can tap this, choose this 1-0 event in your waiting room, put under it as a marker, and I actually forget what the last effect is.
So you're allowed to marker a music character or the event.
Yeah.
And then its last effect is pay 1, tap self. You can take the marker to your hand.
Okay, I see now.
So it's
Yeah.
a value engine, and then at level 3, it's pretty good to restand.
Yeah, this card fits a lot as Yan said. It's basically a late 1-turn salvage, but it's only a pay 1. It just takes 2 turns. Or you set up to get the event as a marker to prep for your level 3 restand. So I think it's a very strong package. It's a good engine. This level 3 just has the potential to be so good in the current game state of everyone wants to be compressed. So if you're playing against an opponent who's just like, I'm only out 3 in my 14 card deck, you could potentially just either miss all 7 or you can burn him 4 times. Who knows? We'll find out how good this card really is after probably more than a few weeks of testing, honestly. It really depends on how the meta is going to develop, and we're getting a couple new sets in soon, so we'll see how strong this card holds against the test of time.
A few of the new incoming sets are pretty compression heavy, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully this is a very good preset answer for us later down the line. So now we have Kadin. She's an early play. Her early play condition is having this specific 0/0 in your clock. And she has the Grisaya effect, which is ditch 2. You can look up the top 4 cards of your deck. You can add a music character or an event, and then you can choose the top card of your clock and heal it to stock.
It heals from the bottom.
Bottom? Oh, okay, so you technically heal this. Is it heal from the bottom?
It does not heal from the bottom.
Oh no, it's
it's clock top.
it's top of clock.
To stock,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's top of clock. Never mind.
So, regardless, it's a stock healer. It's also top. It's an Akatsuki for an event. The issue with this card is obviously the discard 2. I think this clock condition is pretty easy to get through. It's something I shouldn't be playing the Setsuna for this, to be honest. I should really be playing the Search Ricky, but like in my other deck profile, I don't have a lot of cards I really want to use the Search Ricky for, so the Search Ricky gets a lot of less value. This deck, you definitely just want to find hand value for everything. So I think this Kadin is pretty good. It lets you find your 1/0 event. The 1/0 event specifically is cigarettes. It's very simple. Mill top 2, salvage, each combined level. You really can't go wrong with it. And to answer for the Kadin in question to put in clock, she's a clean cut. She has a come to play effect. You mill top 2 cards of deck for every music character. She gets 1,000. So she's a 4,000 power clean cut potentially, which is pretty solid. Most clean, a lot of clean cuts are on average 3.5 now. So
3K.
this is me, or 3K. I just wanted to play it for the package. I don't know how good this package is, but I'm willing to try. And a lot of these cards you've seen in my other deck profile. The other only newest card, I mentioned this, it's the 0/0i. She's the one that can ditch draw, and she's the blink effect.
Or
This
draw
card
ditch.
is a draw ditch?
Yeah, it's 2 more draw ditch.
2 more draw ditch? Even better. So 2 more draw ditch helps you find probably your event, any other card, cycle your hand. The other thing is just ditching the music character to blink something for a turn instead of just immediately.
Yeah, and an Encore face. Or Star Encore face.
Yep, start of Encore phase. So, I think this is really important right now, but it just feels hard to slot a card like this in because a lot of people are playing level 3s that have a lingering effect. That or they have hexproof, right? They're making level 3s really, really strong and impenetrable nowadays. So hopefully, maybe this eye will see more play after we realize how strong it is with the upcoming sets and what we currently have going on in the meta. People are starting to go back to next hole combos, or they're doing stuff with having full board. Being able to completely disrupt stuff like that on your current attacking phase is really important to me.
It's also
I think
good
there
in
have been a lot of money counters released recently that have full board condition.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty good counter to those.
Pretty good in the mirror,
Yeah.
It's also pretty good at stopping bounce back combos. I've been seeing a fair amount of those running around recently, so you can just deny bounce, stop gear.
For Bang Dream, going off 10, I guess you get to stop the level 1 Hello Happy Roll combo that can't get reversed. That card is a menace.
Yes.
That card's honestly a nuisance. So
It can also remove the JC that is commonly played in Hololive Conata decks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luna JC.
Or
right.
you can remove a level 0 and the JC doesn't work anymore if they don't have 2 more others.
Yeah, just
Actually,
Much
Does
easier
this
to remove
remove-
herself because she counts herself as a level 0 though.
Yeah, it has to be 2 more others though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need 2 more other zeros, including her, to bounce back.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
So-
bounce it. You can blink anywhere.
oh, that's okay. That's a lot better than I thought. You can
If you blink a back row that's like giving a lot of power or giving hexproof even,
yeah.
have fun.
It's pretty good against standby, dude. Remove like the
Yeah.
1k bombs, or yeah.
Gets to remove like the Gizling for it. There's actually a lot of applications for this card.
Yeah, just being able to remove like Geld against like a standby slime, just disrupt their tempo. Pretty key.
Yeah. Like I said, this card was also a contender for my other deck list for that 1-up slot. It's like I said, Niji 2 has so many good cards. I definitely know from what I've given a quick glimpse that Yan and Jerry have different deck lists. Some of them are running similar cards, but they're all running their own other unique decks that they wanted to make. I was pretty focused on Ai. She's my favorite girl, and she's the combo I want to run the most, but I know the other decks have better combos to run. So let's see I'm gonna see how long I can stick with this combo.
All right. So I guess that kind of wraps up most of the closing thoughts that you had on the on Niji as a set so far. So I guess we'll just go ahead and move down the line. So yeah, you want to step up and talk a little bit about some of the lists that you came up with?
Yes.
All right.
So right here I've got another choice door list, but instead of the level 1 door and level 3 choice from set 2, I'm taking another look at set 1's level 1 choice combo. She was like one of my favorite cards on the release of set 1, and when I saw that set 2 had 1k1 finishers, I was really excited to try her with like as many different combinations as I could. To cover her full effects, she has a power condition where on placement of any climax, she will gain 500 for every music character on the board, cross turn. So she'll be like 6-5 on defense, 7-5 on attack, and her climax combo with her choice is if the character opposite is either reversed or not there, she can salvage at the start of Encore step.
All
Which
right.
is a pretty generic salvage combo.
But the fact that you have defensive power at level 1 means that you can start playing a little bit more around trying to maintain, I believe it's Shioriko.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to, like, preserve her on the board into potentially looping the combo back a second turn in a row is, like, pretty key, especially since you don't have to worry about the reverse, because you can also have the empty lane.
Yes. So it's like almost interactive, almost on reverse, because it having an empty lane means she's kind of free. The power condition being cross turn is also why I wanted to run the 1/1 3k counter. Bonus points that it has a soul trigger for choice. Bonus points that it goes to bottom of your deck, so you're never last card canceling or last card triggering.
Okay.
The other combo I wanted to run, and what made me really excited to be running a choice door lineup, was this Ayumu. So she's coming to play healer, and her climax combo is on attack, you may pay 2. If you do, mill the top 3 cards of your deck. If there is a yellow character among them, burn 1. If there's a red character among them, burn 1. And if there's a blue character among them, burn 1. You may notice that my colors are 18, 18, 14. If we remove the climaxes from those counts, it is an even spread of 14, 14, 14 characters. So the odds for burning 1 3 times are pretty okay, I'd say.
perfectly balanced as everything should be.
Yes.
Well,
This was
so
the combo I was most excited to try out simply because she had such good synergy with a level 1 choice combo. And then for the rest of the cards, this is a 3/2 Rena from the new set. She's kind of unassuming at first. She's come into play. You can top check 3 and rearrange. She'll gain 2,000 power for the turn, and then she'll be able to level down or shrink an opponent's card. Similar to the My Little Shido effect. Her secondary effect is a honor verse, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 1, which is just fairly solid, fairly basic. Extra reach.
It's also cross turn.
Also, cross turn.
the
The
2000
main
is
point
only
is that her rearrange tells you your attack order to play when you're playing with Yayumu.
the 2K is only your turn, or is it cross
It's
turn?
on play, you get the 2K.
On
The
play, the
rearrange
2K is for this turn only. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's all good.
But the pay 1, ditch 1, burn 1 is
Cross turn.
cross turn.
Still pretty solid though. You can have.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier this Emma that I really love. She's a super solid blue card. She's an early play for this deck. You'll notice I'm not playing healers other than my finisher. And it's because I believe that just maintaining tempo and maintaining advantage by hitting my opponent harder is just better.
Yep.
But she's 10k. Her power condition is on your own turn for every other music character. She gets 500, so she'll typically be 12k. The next card is aforementioned anti-change counter. Super solid, super basic. Since we're playing choice, the 3 stock is not that steep, and it's Saka character, which will deny honor verse effects in potentially multiple lanes. This next card is our memory kick counter. 3k. It's pretty solid overall because I'll be trying to have either an Emma or defensively. Defensively, I'll be trying to use it on the Emma lanes. And she's particularly good with this Kanata back row, which is global 1k. So defending from 11k, potentially 12k, up to 14 or 15 is pretty nice. And memory kick removal on counter is very solid right now, I believe. The next card on the list is this 2/1 Kanata. She's a 2-soul beater, and she is bottom deck anti-change.
Wait, is a 2-soul beater? That's an wait, what?
She's a 2/1 2-soul.
Okay then.
And then she also has hand encore, so very reusable.
Huh.
I don't know why she has encore.
Why did she have 2 soul?
The encore and the 2-soul are very questionable for this one stock. I don't know. I'll just appreciate that I have such a really good Adachi effect. Standby and their encores will fear this.
Yep.
Returning to the 2/1 1k back or global 1k back row, I forgot its other effect, which is she can tap herself to give another character honor verse bottom deck.
Oh, more Janelle Esports. So you can either bottom deck it with the Dachi, or you could just punt it off the face of the. Wow. Okay. So.
Yeah. If they're in low deck states, I stack more damage. If they're in bigger deck states, hopefully I'm throwing enough cards to the bottom that it's actually free when I get there.
All right then.
We've gone over the 1/0 and 1/1 counters. With the counter, Shioriko should be going up to 9/5. At level 2, potentially 10/5 with the global 1k. So that's the logic between running the Shioriko and the 1/1 counters. And like I said, it bottom decks itself, so I won't be triggering either of my salvages on a fresh waiting room. The next card we got here is this 1/0 Emma. Her only effect is if you have a climax in your climax area, when she reverses an enemy, you can blind stalk one. Just a generic blue level 1 that I felt supplemented Shiriko fairly well, and got us to our stock breakpoints for pulling off multiple Ayumus.
All right.
Getting into our zero line, we've got the set 100 search Ricky. She's a 2K vanilla otherwise, but her Ricky effect is pay 1 and clock a music character from your waiting room to the bottom of your clock. Fairly nice to use. The only problem with it is that you can't use it on an empty waiting room, but that should generally not be an issue.
Okay, so just one thing I'm noticing as we're kind of looking at the list, where I noticed that you're using both the search Ricky and the top check 2 Ricky as well.
Yes.
Like, kind of want to get a little bit of your thoughts on what your split is, why you're choosing to run both of them in this type of deck.
So I'm running 3 of the search Ricky because I really want to see my level 1 combo as often as I can. So I wanted up the consistency on that, and whether or not I can grab it off of the top check 2 or the search is good. The other reason is simply I felt these were the best zeros I could run to maintain my color balance for the Ayumu.
Okay.
I'm only running 3 of the search Ricky because I feel her utility goes down the later in the game I go, while the Setsuna keeps because she has a power ability, and the +1 is more relevant later in the game.
And then I see that you're running out with a few staples here. You got your Fuka.
We're playing 4 of Fuka. She's a good card. She sets up my waiting room for my plussing triggers. Turns the worst card in my hand into... There's a lot of good grab targets. I feel like every one of them is impactful, whether it's any of the level 1s I'm playing. The 2 ones that go on the board are really good. 2-1 counters are very good. And of course, my level 3s are all... I'd like to hold the combo for when I need it. And that level 2 is a really strong play, etc.
Yep.
Here we go. One of vanilla climax swap. Wish we had this with set 1. We got it with set 2.
And then let's see what these.
We
new
spoke
cards-
about the Setsuna Ricky. I feel like having 7 cards that clock myself, it might be a little much, so I'll like check the ratios later. But I feel the ability to never whiff color is very nice.
All right.
Since both this and the yellow search Ricky clock from waiting room, it gives me like really good color control. And if I were playing any of the Ayumu experience cards, I'd also have like really good level control for that. Bonus points on this Setsuna, she can always activate her ability because she can always send herself to bottom of clock.
Okay, so I guess that also helps considering that if you do get to level 1 first, you end up walling up strictly harder since you'll usually be at like 5-5, 6-5 of range when you throw down Shiriko combo.
Yes.
So you never know. Sometimes just accelerating the game state is how you win the game.
Yeah. Pushing for higher level advantage cards when you're able to, I feel, is a really good thing.
All right.
Next up, a card we haven't seen yet. This is the double rare Search Brainstormer in set 2. We're playing Search Brainstormer because I feel I have enough salvage ability between my Shioriko combo. Both my triggers are salvage. And then her other effect is at level 3, she can sack herself to summon the 3-2 Ayumu.
Oh,
Very
okay.
touching. Cheating stock is very nice. I feel like the Brainstorm is less to plus and more for milling, really.
Just enable the waiting room. Pretty key.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last card, we mentioned it briefly. It's the Emma that it has. When she goes from stage to waiting room, you can discard 3 cards to salvage one each, or up to one each of a yellow, red, or blue character. And her other effect is you can shuffle 2 back for to gain the ability to side attack without soul penalty. This actually also works really well with both the Search Brainstorm and the Search Ricky. If I'm out all of my Shoriko combos, she can shuffle some back, and hopefully I can I'll have another way to search them. And she'll also be able to shuffle back Soul Triggers if I feel the need. She's even better in the tricolor 12 standby deck, but we'll talk about that another time, I guess.
All right, Kaichou, you got any thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Yeah, I think the deck list is a pretty good, solid baseline. What to play with the combos. Basically, just good cards, right? Is there any other cards you decided you've considered yet for this deck?
Yes. For this specific deck, there's the 1/1 red Adachi. The when she's reversed, she'll send her opponent who is higher than our opponent's level to memory. Just another 1/1 Soul Trigger card. Alternatively, this Shizuku Adachi is very good because at the start of Encore Step, you can sack her to stock charge from waiting room. It's a matter of like finding different cards to play for the color balance with the Ayumu, though, I feel.
Yeah, like we are talking, that blue is very hard to find color for, and there are not that many good blue colors that
Yeah,
we use
blue is the most awkward color for this deck, I believe.
Yeah.
This Emma as a 4 of is really strong. She can always salvage herself, which is nice. Using her to salvage any of your other blue cards is also really good, of course. We're playing the best blue I figured was worthwhile. Honorable mention would probably go to the Emma 00 Free Runner.
Also has on reverse draw ditch, I believe. So
Yeah, so at start of climax phase, she'll gain either the on reverse draw ditch or the free runner ability until till the end of opponent's turn.
Yep. So I know that you've discussed a lot about wanting to maintain balance so that you can maximize on the potential for burn 1 3 times, but like for people who might not be as focused on burning 3, like would you consider like blue being the primary place where you would just re-shoehorn in for more yellow and red, basically, or is it kind of just like?
I think the most flexible slots are probably this 1/0 Emma, and I don't know if 2 copies of this back row Kanata are correct.
Okay.
The Emma having a shuffle back is also really good for the Ayumu because you can shuffle back characters whose colors would increase your burn potential.
Yep, so I can kind of see that it's going to be pretty important for you, like, kind of going into your level 3 turn. You're going to probably be looking at your waiting room to help
keeping
gauge
track
out.
of what's in your waiting room, what's in your stock, and knowing your deck state are probably the most important things to keep in mind with this Ayumu combo.
Yeah.
And that helps with playing the search brainstormer, because if you brainstorm and search your deck, and then you can see what's in your deck, and then you can sack the brainstormer for the 3/2, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
using
of
the search
enabling a lot of
brainstorm to confirm what's
information.
in deck is also a really good strat.
Yeah. All right, so if you want to go ahead and move on to your next deck real quick.
Yes. So this deck I chose to look at 8 choice for a change. This is the base rarity double rare of the level 1 Shioriko. Went over why that's good, why I like it a lot already.
A lot of the key cards similar to what Aria was running in his choice top end, it looks like. See,
so we're running 333 on the merge package. We're running 4 copies of the level 3 Cosme combo. We're running 4 cards of the goes to memory and copies the name of any cost me on board while in memory and in hand. This time we're actually running more cost me cards that take advantage of that though.
Yeah, I see that we
Starting
have the 1/1 resonance over there in the
Yes.
corner. So
So
yeah.
here's a 1/1 level assist. And then her secondary ability is similar to the Kaguya 1/1 level assist, where you can pay 1, reveal the resonance target, in this case herself, or a card with her own name, and tap herself to top check 3 and add a character. Like Aria already went over, this card gains the name of any cost me that is on the board, so she fulfills the resonance condition of any cost me with a resonance condition.
Okay.
We're running 3 of this. We just need to find one to put on the board. It being a soul icon for choice trigger when we're running 8 choice is very strong, as well as dealing extra damage. Here's the 1/1 Shizuku Dachi. Really strong card at 1. It being able to change even without the target in order to stock charge is really nice. So she's effectively free on any turn you want to use her, as long as you have 1 stock at the turn to start.
Okay, and then it looks like...
Here's a new card in set 2. It's a 1/0 with a soul icon. Very nice. It's similar to the Ruby Nolan, I believe.
Yeah.
Where she has a on place to the stage from hand, you can choose an opponent's card and it cannot move from that slot until the end of the next turn.
Yep.
And then it's a cost 0 bottom deck bomb.
Stop.
Not as
bomb.
great against standby 1/1s, but good against most other 1k1 decks, and it's good against any cannot be reversed cost 0s.
Yep. So kind of just enables you to have the extra free slots just in case you can't break over, or I suppose.
Yeah, and then being able to stun 2/2s that got standby to the back row is nice.
Yep.
We're still running the 1/1 3k counter. In this deck, we actually have a little more power for Shioriko. And then with the level assist, the merge, on the turn it's played and the next turn after, it'll be 11-5 with a 1 level assist behind it. It'll be 13k.
And then 16k
And we've got some pretty
with
potent
backup.
backups to keep it on the board.
Okay.
We're still running 4 copies of the Search Ricky. I feel that it's just important to find a combo. And because it's a Ricky, you can also search other like really good zeros. If you need to find your memory target, if you need to find a way to mill, you might notice I'm not playing any Brainstormers, and that's because I'm playing 2 different pay 1 plus 1 cards in this 1/1 and the merge target.
All right. So it's kind of like you're not really gonna have explosive amounts of pluses, but you kind of get more guaranteed like tempo when you choose to use these effects. It's pretty key for this type of deck, I'd imagine.
Yeah. The last new card is a set 1 card. She's kind of similar to the Fuka, actually, where when she's moved from stage to waiting room, you can look it up to top 4, and you can add a yellow climax. The key part is that she only discards a card if you add a climax with her effect. So she's just on death mill 4, effectively.
Okay, and so
And in 8 choice, I feel running 3 copies of this means I can get away with not running a single climax swap.
What's the second effect?
The second effect is resonance with her own name. At start of climax phase, resonance, she gains 2,000 power and 1 soul.
Yeah, why not? Sometimes you just need to break
3,
over
5,
something.
2 soul beater, sure. When I'm playing Niji, I am about sending my opponent to level 4.
Yep. So.
And this deck does, I hope, will be a consistent way to maintain that tempo through levels 0, 1, and 2. And at 3, we are trying to have enough hand and stock to play 3 copies of this and go.
Okay, so kind of having seen a few of the decks that you've had, I know that you have a few other decks off to the side that you were building in kind of before we got to the
Yes.
podcast, but so like kind of what are your closing thoughts overall on like Niji 2? Like where does it kind of stand? You've been a pretty big fan since Niji 1 yourself, so like where
Yeah.
do you think this takes it?
With Niji 1, beyond 8 standby, I felt it was a pretty lackluster set. It has a lot of tools, but like a lot of those tools weren't going anywhere with set 1's like top end. Set 2 rectified basically every problem I had with it and more. Gave me a lot of tools I wasn't expecting to be able to play with, and I just feel like it's really nice that I can play Shioriko with 1k1 top ends instead of sets in a standby.
Yep. All right. So there's that. Pretty good stuff from Dan. So next up we have Jerry. Jerry, you want to
Yeah.
go ahead and stream your lists and show us what you got cooking up?
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. All right.
All right. So
All right, so I'm just gonna start off with the level 0 lineup here. Starting off here, let me just start off with this one here. This is one of the newer cards of set 2 here. On play, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. You can choose to add an event to your hand and send the rest to waiting room. And if you did grab an event, you will have to pitch 1 card from your hand. And this card is also a level 0 bottom deck bomb. Card is nice. The one thing I really liked about this card is that it mills 3. A lot of problems with set 1 is that you don't have that many options to mill through your deck. And having another option to mill through your deck is very nice in its own way. Also, the added bonus is you get to grab an event from this. So basically, it's very similar to the Hestia level 0 from Danmachi. So card play this at 4. Up next, we have this level 0 Emma. This was shown previously with the other deck profiles here. She shuffle backs 2 cards from your waiting room. 2 characters from your waiting room, and she gains no side penalty. And on another effect, on death, you can pitch 3 cards from your hand to salvage 1 of each color from your waiting room. There's only 3 colors in this set, so 1 yellow, 1 blue, 1 red. Card's good in the fact that I primarily use her for certain matchups where some cards like previously shown the eye where she can blink a card to memory. Sometimes they have hexproof, so there's not many options to get rid of hexproof characters. So in a way, this card allows you to still swing for your lane and not lose your board. And also, it bypasses rest counters as well. So having her as a one of is pretty nice, especially if you just want to swing for damage and just keep on the pressure to your opponent. Next up, another one of the newer cards here. This level 0 Emma, she gives a global 500 to all your other music characters, and her second effect is very reminiscent to SAO, where if you trigger a pants, you can pitch 1 card from your hand to grab a card from your clock. Keep in mind, you can grab any card in your clock, so that includes events and climaxes, which is very nice. Which means that it turns your pants into well, there's no trigger for it, but if anything, you can grab anything other than a pants. So it's nice to have options to grab other cards and such. So and also the extra 500 power is it's just a little chef's kiss there. It's nice and all, but
it's pretty similar to the Fate 8 gold bar deck with the Sakura Brainstormer,
Yeah,
you basically
yeah,
get filter or can get rid of the pants, get a better card out of your clock since you already
basi-
know what's coming out.
yeah, exactly. So every time you since this is an 8 pants build, you don't feel too bad triggering more pants because you can actually replace that pants with either a playable for next turn, or if you want to just grab an event for later. And so yeah, it just turns your options into better options basically. So next up we have we play 4 of this level 0 Ricky. It's basically the same Ricky, the same yellow Ricky from set 1. Clock from your waiting room to bottom your from waiting room to bottom your clock to search for level 1 or lower. We do play 3 colors, so this in a way helps get your color for each level. So the leveling order will be leveling a blue for level 1, leveling a red for level 2, and at level 3 you'll be leveling a yellow. So yeah. Other than that, also helps look for your other pieces too, like either look for your level 1 combo or your brainstorm, your back row assists, or your clock fixes. So yeah. Next up, we played the 2 Fukas here. I'll play top check. If it's a character, give yourself 2k power. Very nice in the level 0 game just to get over some boards at level 0. And also the nice added effect where when she goes to waiting room, you can pitch a card to look at top 4, grab a level 1 card or higher, grabs all your events, which is nice, and just helps mill through your deck as well. Yeah, not much to say about this. It's just all around what a lot of people would play in most builds. Next up, the 1 climax swap. I've been grieving about this since set 1. Yeah. Although in this particular build, in 8 pants, we can get away without playing this, but for now I'm just gonna test 1 to see how much use we can get out of this in 8 pants. If we don't get much out of use of this in 8 pants, then we might as well just remove this and play another card. But for now, just playing 1 just to see how it goes.
Can confirm we are 3 for 3 in Niji players and raving about climax swaps. My
Yeah,
God.
it's been a huge grievance for a lot of DG players, and yeah. Next up, we have the I promo from set 1. On play mandatory mill 2. If you mill a climax, you can salvage a character, and if you do salvage a character, you'll pitch 1. And on play, pay 1, pitch 1 to salvage a character, and then give another character 1k power. We're only playing this just so we have options to salvage to our waiting room, just to grab targets, because we do mill a lot, so we'll be grabbing most of our stuff from waiting room here. So just having another card that just potentially grab 2 cards that you need from waiting room is nice. So there's that. Next up, we play the 2 brainstorms here. Aria brainstorms. We play climax. Look at top 2 rearrange, and she is a pay 1 rest self salvage brainstorm. This was already mentioned before, but the first effect where you top check 2 wasn't really much used, even though if it's an extra effect that can be seen as a nice effect to have. It just wasn't used very often or utilized to its full potential. In set 2, when set 2 comes out, though, this card will be very relevant. Probably not for this build, but for the very least, this will assist in your first swing for your level 1 combo, whether you want to either grab a card you need, or just or if you have too many cards in your deck and you don't want to mill through it too quickly, you can choose whether to grab a card off your level 1 combo. So there's that. Next up on the level 0, this is a card from set 1 here. So she has 2 effects. For all your other characters all your other characters, if during battle, if they are 2k higher when battling the opposing character, your opponent is not able to use backups or events. This effect is very relevant in today's meta with a lot of sets running either rest counter or money counter or any other counters to that change. It also helps your level 2 plays be a bit more aggressive, especially since you won't have to worry about any anti-change counters at level 2. And it also helps your, at least in this case, the Karin level 3 combo, climax combo go off, because she is an on reverse clock kick. So having your opponent sat counter your Karin level 3 and just missing one potential guaranteed damage is kind of sad. And the second effect is rest this card to give one of your characters 500 power. It's relevant here in this case. Because for your level 3 combo, because you kind of want to reach that 2k threshold just so you can be guaranteed that 1 point of extra damage for that lane at level 3.
I see this Karin, and then I just think to myself, man, Yan is like writhing in his grave a little bit once you overpower the 3k counter.
It's fine.
Oh, man.
I'm not worried about using the vanilla 3k11 at level 3.
Yeah. So there's that. We're pretty relevant in the current meta right now. Moving on to level 1s here. We run this new level 1 combo from set 2. This card, when she attacks, if there is an event in your waiting room, she gains 3k until the end of your opponent's turn, effectively making her a 6k body cross turn without climax. And her climax combo, when she attacks, you can look up to top 4, and you can add either a character or an event to your hand and send the rest to waiting room. Card's really good because it's an actual level 1 combo other than Shioriko. And the fact that you can actually, if for some reason you don't have any events in your waiting room, you can actually do the combo first, have an event in your waiting room, and then trigger the first effect where she gets the 3k power afterwards. So most of the time you won't have to worry about not checking an event in your waiting room so she doesn't get power. But yeah, card's really bonkers in the fact that she goes to your deck as well. Like I said, a lot of cards in this in this particular list goes to your deck. So honestly, it shouldn't be much of a problem to grab what you need. And at the fact that even though you only have a limited pool of 4 cards to choose from, if you either trigger a pants, it triggers off the level 0 Emma's effect where you can grab a card you need from clock, or if needed to, you can always grab the other Emma where you can just either have her crash into her or play over her just to grab the cards you need from waiting room. So if anything, this card basically makes the level 1 plays happen. So there's that. Next up, we have this level 1 Emma. It's the same Emma that was seen in Yan's list. And there's a climax in your climax zone. On reverse, blind stock. This card helps you generate stock for your top end because the whole point of this deck, I don't know if I established that earlier, but the whole point of this deck is to make this level 3 Kadi and or at least try field this Kadi at level 3 and pull out the full effect of this level 3 here. And it requires, I believe, 8 stock and 8 hand to do it fully. But so having an extra way to generate stock is nice as well. So there's that. And also, it may be on reverse, but there's other ways to pump power to it, which I'll get into right now. We play this 1-0 Emma event. This card is, you can call this My Little Shiro 2.0, but slightly nerfed a bit. Rest the standing character, and you can choose one from one of the following effects. You can either call a level 0 from your deck for your deck to stage, and then shuffle. You can choose 2 characters and give them 3,000 power. The 3,000 power is relevant for a later game for level 3 as well. And third effect is you choose one of your opponent's character. You choose one of your opponent's characters. Your opponent chooses a character from their waiting room equal to equal to the level that we chose, minus one level of that. So it's basically a shrink. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Shrink,
Yeah.
My Little Shido, just a
Yeah,
classic. Get that
the
out of
classic,
here.
yeah. This card has a lot of utility at all levels here. Just the fact that if she herself counts as one of any level 0 we have here. So if I need which is why we run very little. We only run one of each of the this Emma and this Karin here, because she can in a way call them out from deck if they're in deck. And if we need a brainstorm, we just call the brainstorm from deck. And also giving 3,000 power to this blind stock is pretty relevant. Also to the fact that she does need reverse, so having her guarantee that reverse is pretty nice and handy. And
9K
also,
level 1 is kind of a lot.
it really is a lot, especially. So building stock won't be an issue. Just don't blind stock a card
Just
you
don't blind stock the pants.
Yeah, just don't blind stock the pants and you should be chilling. Also, the 3K is also relevant too for the level 3 combo as well, because you want Karin to guarantee her reverse as well. So having adding 13 another 3K to her, making her effectively 14K without any other forms of boost is already really high already. And in conjunction with this effect, you're more or less guaranteeing the reverse unless they run like JC or Geld or something. But we do have a solution to that as well. The My Little Shido portion of the effect, the shrink, is also relevant. So in the case that you are unable to get over or at least reach the 2K threshold for the back row to proc in, you can just shrink the board. And therefore, there you go. Now you can get over. Now you can reach that threshold pretty easily here. So in any case, this card is, I would say, very vital in pulling off Karin's climax combo, and the fact that you just want to secure that guaranteed ping one.
I think the fact that you can get it off both the combo and off the Fuka makes it even more versatile. And off of the level 0 Emma, that's the bottom deck bomb. So just having the sheer amount of access to it is also pretty freaking insane, that you just magically will have one perpetually in your hand at all times.
Yeah, which is why we run 4. We'll always have at least one. For some reason we don't have one, then well, I don't know. I don't know what to say at that point.
We got bigger problems at that point.
True. So moving on to the level 1 lineup, the last of level 1 lineup here. We have this 1-0 rest counter bonus. It's on Akari. So rest counter, the cost is to pay for and pitch an event to choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it. This card is actually playable even after you just played your combo, because as you may have noticed, this climax combo, it doesn't cost anything. The only thing you need is a reverse. So if you have this if your opponent manages to survive, and if you just want to play for next turn, paying 4 for the cost is not too bad, as long as you leave one stock, or at level 3 if you're able to shrink one of the lanes and get an Emma off. Get this blind stock Emma off. You give yourself an extra stock, so you have so now you have enough stock to pay for this rest counter as well, which is really nice, because if it asks to pay for a hand, then that's kind of yikes. But since it asks for stock, this is actually not bad to put in the deck, especially since 4 stock is not that expensive at all, especially even after you do full combo at level 3. So yeah.
Didn't
I'd
he
point out
vote?
that, after the level 3 full combo, you're usually left with 1 stock before attacking.
Right, right. You're left one stock before attacking. That's why, like, if you don't, if for some reason they have a chance to live, they have a chance that you would generally leave one stock before attacking, or if you're out of stock and you go the unconventional play and just shrink the board until they shrink the board so you can get Emma off. But that's unrealistic, considering that if you just did full combo, you're not gonna have any hand. So generally in this case, generally in this case, you would just leave one stock. That way you have four stock left just to play the rest counter.
I mean, that's when you trigger two pants during the final turn, and you just filter into the rest counter and an event, and you just look at the opponent in the face, and you're just like, all right, come at me.
True.
Man.
So much. This card has a lot of. This card allows for so much access to any of your cards that you need. So, and they decide to reprint it on for Niji. So, very thankful for that.
Man, they really didn't think that that they learned their lesson from Sword Art.
Apparently
they went
not.
and put it in Niji too. All right, cool.
Nah,
All right.
really not. If anything, they just nerfed it, quote unquote nerfed it.
All right.
So starting up to our next up on our starting out level 2s, we do play this 1/2/1 Karin. This card is actually once again bonus. It's a Karin. On attack, if the card facing this is level 3, this card gains 4,000 power and 1 soul. So she swings for 2 soul if she's placing level 3. And also 10/5, which is not bad. Not bad. A little small for a level 3 Slayer, but if anything, you're swinging for 2 soul. So you're basically just punching in the face at the point. And the second effect, another on attack effect. On attack, choose one of your characters. For the turn, it gains X power, X equal to the amount of vents you have in your waiting room, times 1,500. So we run 9 events in this deck. So for each, let's say, 6K for 4 stacks, 6K,
13/5.
Yeah, 13/5. So you can potentially give one lane 13/5, and it can get over a lot of things, including like boards that equivalent boards you think would be unbreakable. Let's say like Mushoku's Gislane or the Kaguya's Miyuki level 3. So this easily helps you get over those kinds of lanes. And if anything, like if you're already over the 2K threshold for most of your lanes anyways, especially if you already have this out and you have 2 lanes that this lane or another lane is already able to get over their lanes, you don't have to worry much about backup. You can actually like give that power to like a level 0 and watch a level 0 swing for like potentially up to almost 15K.
Just punt them a little bit harder.
Punt them a little bit harder, yeah. So if anything, it's a nice card, especially with the amount of events we play in this deck. Now moving on to the level 3 lineup, we do have this one early play eye. It's just 4 more early play condition, 4 more on board early play condition. On play, pitch 1 card from hands and heal the stock, and it gains 2,000 for the turn it was played at this. No, it was only on your turn. It gains 2K. So on your turn, she gets pretty big, and so if you have this out by then you don't have to worry about her lane because you can just swing without any worry. Another on the level 3 lineup, we run this 1 Karin. Oh, by the way, best girl. On play. You can pay 1, pitch 1 to search for an event and add it to your hand. And after you search, you can look up the top 2 cards of your deck, send them underneath this level 3 face up as a marker. And when you pay a cost for an event, you can use the markers underneath as to substitute the cost for the event. And climax combos with the pants on reverse. When this card reverses a character, send that character to clock. So this is the guaranteed 1 damage that you will do if you get her high enough. And also she will also help you search into this new level 3 Karin event. So this card is very if anything, it's a huge improvement over the events we had over at set 1. The only downside is you can only play this with Karin, but that's not a problem with this deck. So her effect is once again, you can't you are not able to play this card without a Karin on board. Send this card on play. Send this card to memory. Blind spot and deal X damage. Being equal to the number of this event in memory. So keep in mind that she goes to memory first, so you will never miss the burn. And the fact that she actually refunds you one stock means that you can actually like play multiple copies in one turn, and you'll still be able to keep your stock for other plays as well. And also you can also waive her 2 stock here from Karin's markers as well. So she's very cost efficient, and this whole this 2-card combo basically for Karin's case, it turns Karin's pay 1 pitch 1 into just a pitch 1. So if anything, it's really nice to have. So it's really nice to have, and also like having an escalating burn is also nice, because then you just keep looping this combo until you run out of copies of it, and then after that you just swing 3 and hope, and then after, if you're over the power threshold, you can guarantee 6 more instances of damages from her climax combo. So yeah, and then lastly we run this 1/3/4 Drago Buster clone. So when you play this card, your opponent reveals 6 cards from the top of their deck, shuffle everything back, and send the top X of their deck to their clock. X being equal to the amount of climaxes that was revealed by this card, and send this card to bottom deck. This card is whatever. It's very strong on paper, but I honestly see it as more of a way to punish compression. Since we don't have a stock swap for this set, and I don't think we ever will, this is one way to, I would say, like, if anything, I would say there's one way to punish compression, because then especially against decks that compress the memory a lot, meaning that they have thinner decks, and if anything, higher chance for them to reveal a climax off that top 6, and they just eat guaranteed damage from there. So yeah, that's that. That's basically it for this list. I only built one list for this, only because like when set 2 dropped, I tunnel vision into thinking, how do we make her playable again? Because in set 1 she was good. The only problem was that she didn't have good events to accompany her with. So yeah, so there's that.
The best event was the Fumio event.
That's sadly true. That's sadly true.
I would also like to point out that the new Karin event pumps 1,000 power.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Also, the 1,000 power is actually very relevant as well if you want to get over that threshold. So, and also you don't have to give it to Karin. The best part is that you only need to get over 2k power. So if you're already 2k power in one lane, you can just move on to another lane and try to guarantee 2k power there. So power is modulate very you can modulate power in this list very nicely, and also like you can play this, you'll play a level 3s and possibly a level 2 game where you don't have to worry about counters at all. So which is very if anything is probably very relevant in the current meta. Also earlier I said this 500 power is not relevant. It actually is. I'm sorry about that. The 500 power is actually
gets you over
relevant.
things.
Yes, it does. The extra power does matter. So I'd like to retract my earlier statement about
the points
that.
do matter. All
Yes,
right,
the
but
points do matter.
you know, Jerry, kind of walking back with what Aria and Yan said previously, like having seen Niji 2, having played Niji 1, like where do you see it, like in the grand scheme of like not just the meta, but like just the strength of the set relative to other strong sets at this point in time, kind of before we see it in action?
Before we see it in action, I see this set being like, I'm probably just echoing for what Yan and Aria said, but this set 2 fixes a lot of problems that set 1 had, plus more. But what I think was the most important thing about this set, at the very least, what it helps from set 1 is that you have a lot of ways to grab the cards you want or grab the cards you need, and also a way to go through the deck, without just for the sake of just going through the deck. And I think that's the most important thing because, at the very least, recently in my experience, like I realized that keeping a good deck state is what helps you win games a lot more than just really big finish or really flashy finishers. So just having more ways to go through the deck, more ways to reset your deck state, and also like more ways to grab cards you need, just other than just milling through the deck, is very nice to have for Niji. And if anything, it fixes the main problem I had with Niji before set 2 release.
But isn't the main problem the climax swap?
Okay, so the climax swap. Okay, okay. The climax swap was also a problem, but then, to be fair, in the set 1, it wasn't an issue in set 1, but only for yellow climaxes.
Yeah, only yellow climax.
Only yellow climaxes. Yeah.
The problem
Although-
with that was the yellow climaxes were not the greatest.
Not the greatest,
It's
and
not
their
the
combos
greatest.
weren't that.
But it's
yeah.
not bad, But good thing we got support for yellow.
We got
True.
really good support for set 1 yellow. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
And then
I
to be
also-
fair, in this list, playing the climax swap is probably overkill, but we're just playing for safety.
Yep.
you never
never know.
Never home without it.
Yeah, never know.
I've
I
also
like
noticed that.
to. Sorry, I like to mention that 8 standby did not care about what climaxes you had.
You were too busy
Bro.
triggering them to
A lie.
notice.
If I had climax swap in 8 standby, I would have won a lot more games.
The amount of times Yan was like, "I need a sets in a climax, but I don't have one. I have to pick an even climax."
So many games.
Yeah.
Psych, that's the wrong climax.
Anyways, I also noticed, Jerry, your deck is max rarity. Is that a sign or?
If with a little bit more testing, it could be max rarity. It could be reality.
Oh. Is that
Wait,
a
they're
max
not-
rarity?
They're not signs, they're SSPs. What do you mean?
Oh, true.
Well, we'll be sure to keep track of that then, Jerry. We'll just periodically ask it in the future.
Maybe check for future videos. Maybe.
You know, I give you a progress update. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
As long as we can finalize a final list, then we can start on getting this nice and shiny.
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
But, yeah.
So then, last up, Kaichou, I know that you made a couple of lists yourself. So, want to go ahead and show the audience real quick?
Sure. My lists are nowhere near as good as the list you saw on these other players. They actually play Niji, but unfortunately, a poor player like me can't afford Niji.
All right.
So my list is basically Jerry's list, but budget version. You'll see a lot of the same cards. The idea is basically the same. You see that I play Cutting Top End with the event package. I think it's a pretty solid, cheap, efficient way to play. You see that this deck actually doesn't have a lot of double Rs, right? The only double Rs you have is this Karin 3/2, and then the Kanata, and then actually the Masashi too. But everything else is, it's pretty cheap. You can get this whole deck for like $5.
$5 or less
Not-
challenge incoming.
Yeah, not even $5. If you cut like this one, because this one kind of went up, but it was less than $5 before. So the second is a $5 less deck. But I mean, the idea of the deck is pretty simple. Was just start up with top end. You have Masashi. We don't play combo. It's a pretty good secondary finisher to have. I play this 3/2 Emma. She's just a healer, and she also gains 5k if you have a marker. So she's on play. You can either heal and then top deck top or bottom, and then you can reveal the top of your deck. And if it's a character, you can send it face up as a marker. or face down as a marker.
Yep.
And then she gains 5k. So it's 12k. 12.5 on a cross turn. Just healer solid. Because especially since cutting does not heal. And then I don't play other heals except this Kanata. But I'm also just thinking about cutting this Kanata. Moving on to level 2s. Nothing we haven't really seen before. The only level 2 I play is the anti-change counter. I think it's just a solid card for the meta nowadays. Level 1s, you play the Adachi. Best Adachi because it does refund you a stock. Though I would play any of the red Adachis that go to memory, but unfortunately the deck does not run red. So I just opted to play for the other colors. Another card we've already seen before is Stock Charger. Since we know that cutting does require a lot of stock for the combo, if you want to ideally play triple cutting and then play your event, and then any extra stock to just grab more cards to play with cutting. So Stock Charger is a good secondary card to play. The combo I'm choosing to play at level 1 is the bounce back combo. There are unfortunately not that many budget combos in this set. So I play the bounce back combo. She's on play 2k. If you have another character, and then on attack, if you have the book and another character, she gains another 1k. And when she gets front attack, you can bounce her back to hand. So she's basically 6-5, 7-5, 8-5 with climax. Pretty big number if you think about it. 8-5 kills standby targets. It is, casually 2k over the Shiriko, no offense. Yen.
There's a reason I'm playing the 3k counter and not the 2k counter.
Yeah, but then you can't counter because I'm 2k over it. Right?
The denial esports.
Already
Yeah.
over. Sad.
Sag. Yeah, 2k threshold. The card's pretty good. This is, a brainstormer that gives your middle 1k hexproof on your turn only. I just play it honestly for the 1k hexproof. Maybe it matters, especially since sometimes you can't be over. But I play as a search brainstormer. I know there's also the other search brainstormer that's a rare that also gives like one of your characters on play can't be reversed by autos. You can also just play that one. I already had this one, so I might as well just played it. The one rest counter, I actually don't play that many events in this deck. I only play 6. Rest counter might be a little sus with 6 events, but sometimes I just hope that this 3-1 event can somehow grab me another event, because this event is, I can do the following effect twice. I can ditch a card to salvage an event. So maybe I can just ditch like extra cards, grab an event. That's in the waiting room, but usually it's just there for it if I need to grab the 3-2, since when I mail it out.
Rest in peace, 30 event, the dream.
Yeah, just extra ways to grab events. I play this Kanata bottom deck bomber for cost 0. She also has on play pitch climax to salvage. Pretty standard card. I play Pants Trigger, so I will be having climax in hand. It gives me a little bit more selection since this deck does not have a lot of selection. Because I'm playing Pants Book. I'm also playing Bounce Back combo. The things you gotta do for cheap options.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Moving on to level 0s. My starter is this mover. Basically, if there's a card, or during your opponent's attack phase, you can choose one of your opponent's characters in the front row and move it to another empty slot. And all your opponent's characters has paid to Encore because she is a 3k beat stick, oversized demerit. This card has really good synergy with the bottom deck bomber that Jerry was talking about. That mills 3 and you can grab an event. So some cheese you can do is you can move their card in front of the bomb in case they didn't want to trade it. So basically your bomb is kind of like a runner, not really. So some neat interactions there. I play one drop search just for some more selection. It also has on play top check, top or bottom. Neat effect. This cost me, as you've seen the other list. I don't play it for the resonant stuff because my deck doesn't really play resonant. Free memory, sometimes it's nice to have free memory, but I just play it for the pitch card to sack self to salvage. It's a nice budget selection tool and a good hand filter. All the Nietzsche players complain about Climax Up, but I have one since I only started playing in set 2. No fear here. The one up cutting that gives all your characters that are 2k over no events or backwards during the card's battle. Pretty good card, just to deny rest counters, money counters, etc. My choice of Brainstormer is this Kanata Brainstormer. She's pay 1, tap 2. For each Climax, you can check 3, add 1. It's gives you a decent amount of deck speed. Lets you select for anything, so maybe you can grab an event, grab a Climax. Pretty good effects. And then her first effect is your characters in front that are level 0 gain 1k. So pretty good from a level 0 game. My mover can be 4k. 4k card is pretty good. Just to buff any of my other level 0s. Because the threshold is like 2k25. So if you're like over that, I think it's pretty good. 3-5. Solid card. Then we were talking about this. The Hestia card from Damachi. Grab your events. I don't play that many, but it does help me with a mill, like Jerry said. Just a freeze mill. I play Fumio in my list just because it's a good card to play. I think for the scenarios, like sometimes your opponents might just be out a lot of clean cards, right? So you can always just have the thing of shuffling it back to the deck. Sensor cost gets mitigated by the cutting top end. It's not too bad to have it as a secondary event to play. You're mainly trying to just play 3 copies of this cutting event, so you can just do the burn 1, 2, 3. Since I only play 3 cuttings, because I only own 3, it's gonna be a little harder to play triple combo. So the idea of this deck is you just play double combo and you play one of the other secondary level 3s, either Heal or Masashi. Pretty solid options. And then, so it's like burn 1, burn 2, double clock kick, Masashi. Then I just play 1 copy of the salvage event in case I mill any of the events out and I need to grab it back. I think this deck is just like pretty budget if you're just trying to get. It actually requires like not that many cards.
It's a bit of
for you
a
to
kind
play.
of lighter version of what we saw with like what Jerry was trying to do in terms of just like recursing as many of your cards as possible into hopefully shove all the carines in your hand and all the events in your hand. Pray that they die at the end. It's pretty.
Yeah, basically. There's a lot of 1-ups, but not a lot of like good triggers. So ideally, you can just cut like these random 1-ups and like bump up the ratios just for consistency. You can have a lot of like random bounce backs in your hand, right? So that's why this ditch the salvage is pretty good. Drop search is also pretty good. And then you can also trade them in for any events in case you need it. So it's also an option. I also thought about playing the other book combo, the new one, the cutting combo, where she gives on reverse, you can clock swap the hand and then clock top of your deck. It's a pretty nice effect. It's give it to any character and she can pump powered attack, so you're most likely going to guarantee because you only need 1 reverse. But I just didn't like the idea of clocking, 3 cards in my deck to my clock because you never know what you get from the top 3.
Yep. But, Kaichou, kind of being the last person to show off some decks for this podcast, like, having seen the other guys' decks and having heard what they thought about the set, where do you think, like, Niji's going to end up standing relative to how the meta is looking at this point in time?
I think Niji is pretty strong. Like, when I first saw Niji 1, right, I really like Shiriko combo. Like Yan said, the combo is just solid, right? It's a salvage targeting combo. Fever condition, Single Lane Fever is always a nice condition. It's on a good trigger. The only problem is your top end was pretty bad because you had to play the re-standard if you want to play a choice, or you play standby, and then or pants. Like the top end didn't really do too much, uh, or like it didn't have like good finishing power for like efficiency purposes. And I think with the new sets, you have a lot more efficient finishers, or they're really explosive. So it definitely improved a lot. And there's like infinite utility in the set. So we just gotta test it out and see which cards are playable. or and which card synergizes well with each other.
All right. Well, that about does it in terms of hearing what these guys thought about it. If you guys like this type of content, let us know in the comments. What type of decks are you guys looking at for Niji? Are you guys going to be interested in trying some of the new stuff, trying to upgrade some of the old stuff? Just let us know. Give us a like. But
Yeah,
that
I'll
would
have
be
the
about
deck
it.
list at the bottom in the description.
Yep. Maybe we'll have a few show matches with these guys. We'll see what they pull. Maybe we'll see Jerry's max ready cuttings. Who knows? But until then, this is all from us. See you guys.